welcome to Classical Stuff You Should Know. How was that? That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was all right. Yeah.
A podcast.
Are we now trying to be professional?
No, we are super
No.
professional. A podcast put on by three highly sophisticated and educated. No, we're just three
nailed it.
amateurs who love books, love learning, and this podcast is about old books, philosophy, education, specifically classical education. Sometimes we talk about art, and most of the time we talk about literature. My name is Graham Donaldson, and I'm joined by Thomas Fletcher Magby.
Hi.
And Arthur Jan Hannenberg.
That would be me.
Lord of Sealand. Do you have a longer title? Like,
I don't think so.
Just Lord,
it's just
right?
Lord of Sealand?
Yeah, I'm just a lord. You can pay for a
Did
counter.
you actually, fun fact, did Sealand get tariffed? Did you get a tariff on Sealand?
Ooh,
It's a great
You
question.
should probably look into that.
I don't know. We don't have a lot of industrial exports.
Yeah.
Turns out,
But, I mean, how awesome would
unless
that
there was like a
be?
tariff on radio.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say, if there was a tariff on
Yeah.
Sealand, my friend. Anyway, we are coming in on we're on the cutting edge
Yeah.
of the zeitgeist of the internet.
Yeah.
Because we are going to be talking about the hottest of all topics, the broiest of all Silicon Valley bro topics. And the best part is that AJ has no idea
I didn't even
that
know
this
it
was
was
a
a
thing. We're talking about Marcus Aurelius' meditations today, ladies and gentlemen. And I was teasing AJ beforehand because Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism have kind of had a moment on the internet where the meditations has become sort of a bestseller again, largely in part of Ryan Holiday and his work, and just sort of the growth of a recollection or a rediscovery of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism and Cicero and Seneca having its kind of moment again in the sun, of which AJ is
I had no idea.
delightfully oblivious of, because AJ
like
is,
I am with most things, apparently.
which is why AJ, we
a
love
good
you.
way
For,
to-
you
it's a
are
good way to be. Yeah.
you are just the purest of hearted people.
Yeah.
It's like
And-
you ever seen that movie? What's it called? Oh, I Heart Huckabees.
I'm not.
I have not.
Have you guys never seen this
Oh
movie?
wait, what's that about again? Is that like the little girl that wants to go dancing?
No, it's got Marky Mark in it, and it's about
You mean Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's got Mark Wahlberg, and it's a philosophical comedy.
Oh, okay.
I can't explain it, but
never
there's a
seen
part
it.
where they're like, "We just got to be like a rock or a dish of mold all day," and they bash themselves in the face with a beach ball
Nope,
to
I've
be
never
sad.
seen it.
That's me, bro.
But anyway,
I'm just like a rock or a
is
dish of mold
AJ is
all day.
a
It's your
well-read,
primal
highly
self.
educated person, but does not.
Who has no idea what's going
You do
on.
not get involved in the nonsense of the world, which I love you for.
So you just picked the book up this week. You're just this is what I want to talk about.
Yep.
And you have no idea that like Stoicism is there's a New York Times article that Ryan Holiday wrote today. About
Serious?
it. Yeah.
I didn't.
So-
I did
mean-
not know about that.
Great. I probably wouldn't have done it if there was competition
No,
for
dude,
this.
there's
subject.
not competition.
I would have chosen something else.
Go for it.
Anyway, no, this is who cares.
One
I
reason
would
to
have
think
done the tarot.
it's gonna be Graham in a couple months, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
No, I
see.
thought you go through this. You have this bike accident, you
that's right.
get this bruise, and now you're going to learn about how to tough it out. That.
No, AJ got a bike accident, got a really big bruise, and then thought, I need a short book. And
There you go. Let's do it.
Here we
I actually
are.
was planning on this weeks ago before I got so to fill the audience in, I
Can
got
I just
in
say
a,
one last thing before you get on your horse?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
AJ is also
Is it a high horse? I don't.
AJ is someone who is well read in the Stoics, and he's not doing this just because he's a bandwagoner. I just want to put that out there.
No, yeah.
You have read this not because you read some tweet where people were like, "Bruh, meditations." Bruh.
No, I've read Seneca, I've read the Enchiridion, I've read me and the Stoics are good friends.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to put that out there that you're an OG Stoic.
That's exactly.
You're not
yeah,
one of
yeah.
these hip Stoics.
I taught it to my high schoolers last year. I am deep into Stoicism.
Yeah, but I mean, Stoicism's had its moment for the past
For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the past 2,000 years?
Well, for sure,
Basically,
I guess.
yeah.
But the sort of modern Stoic movement thing has been about since
It's got to be a decade, right?
2016.
Really?
17?
Probably.
Yeah.
How did I not know about this?
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. We
There's
love
nothing
you.
wrong with that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Just do your thing. Just bike. Just,
Stop
Doing
bumping
something.
into
see
people.
chicken
Yeah.
and bike and listen to do DJs. That's why we love you.
All right. Well, that's what I'm doing. So today we are talking about Marcus Aurelius. So we're going to start with a quick history. I'll tell you a little bit about Stoicism, not a whole lot, because we do have podcasts on it that you can go listen to. And then there's a part that's at the beginning of his meditations that I'm going to save for the end. But before that, we're going to have sort of a quiz show.
Let's go.
It'll be history and then stoicism and then fun quiz show.
Okay.
And then maybe a sort of a last word. And I'll probably ask one big question here at the beginning. So that's kind of where we're headed.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Marcus Aurelius was born in AD 121. He was not the son of an emperor. He was not in line for the throne at all. He was likely schooled by slaves, as many wealthy people were back then. You know, you have a Greek slave, you pay him in nothing because he's a slave,
right.
And he would educate your kids, and you know that's kind of how it was done.
Actually, some of the slaves actually they did the educated, the ones that were schooling, they did earn wages, and you actually also earn their freedom.
Yeah, which was cool. Okay, so when he was 16, the emperor Hadrian was childless. He had been adopted by the guy before him, so he adopted himself as well. Like he had an adopted heir, but his heir died, and so he selected a new one to adopt, a guy named Antoninus, with the proviso that that guy had to adopt Marcus along with his previous dead heir's kid, who was 7 years old at the time. So in 161, Antoninus died, and Marcus carried out Hadrian's intention and pushed his younger adopted brother, Lucius Verus, into co-regent as he took the power himself. So he was 16 when I think he was adopted and then eventually took power. Okay, so at this point, the Senate didn't have a whole lot of power. It was mostly fully an empire, and the emperor pretty much had it all. But he did a good job of giving the Senate as much dignity as he possibly could. He pretty much let them rule and make decisions. He sat in the Senate House, and when they would say, yes, this is approved, and then look at him, and if he nodded his head yeah, it's approved. Then they're like, great, it's approved. So he kind of let that go on for a long time. Eventually, that would be abandoned by subsequent emperors, and the Senate wouldn't be able to save face in that way. But he did a really good job of sort of bringing everybody in and making them feel like they had a job. He died at 58, which is
Marcus Aurelius did?
Yeah, which is relatively young, but it means he ruled for a good long time. His wife had died a little bit before that on a journey to retake control a portion of the empire that had recognized a governor, Avidius Cassius, as emperor, which promised a civil war, except Cassius was assassinated by a subordinate, so
problem solved.
Yeah,
right.
So he had to go show himself around, but on that trip, his wife died. She had 13 children. Oh. Yowza.
That's a lot.
Only one son had survived, and he had been trained the whole time for the eventual emperorship. He was consul at 15, so eventually his son succeeded him as emperor. So that's a quick background. Lots of stuff happened during the time he was an emperor. There were little skirmishes on the edge of the empire, just like usual, right? Like there's little times that the barbarians push, and you got to push them back, and then you got a little bit of civil war threat, and you got to go solve that. So there were little things here and there. So he was born in 121, and then in 161 is when he took power, and then he died. So when he was 40, he took power.
Pre-Christian empire.
Yeah, so he ruled for 18 years. Gotcha. He did know about the Christians because he does mention them in the Meditations. Mm-hmm. But at this time, it was not a Christian empire. Gotcha. It was before that. Okay, so he was a Stoic, and Stoicism had been the philosophy of the day for a while. You have Seneca's letters. I mean, Rome pretty much took it up wholesale. Lots of Stoicism sort of flying around. And Marcus himself had no pretense of being a philosopher. I think at some point he kind of wanted to imagine he was, but he knew that he was an emperor and his job was to rule. And he had been building his life towards that for a very long time. And so the Meditations aren't like, yeah, I'm an emperor, but I'm really a philosopher. That's not really what's happening. When you read the text, it's weird because some of it seems like good philosophy to hand down to you, and then some of it is like weird editorial notes referencing things you don't get. And it's clearly a one-sided conversation. Most folks are pretty sure that the Meditations are just Marcus Aurelius's notes to himself. It's not like he made this to be read or he intended it to be some great philosophical treatise. It's not even a big philosophical logical construct. He's not trying to prove anything to you. It seems like you are reading the diary of an emperor that really wants to do emperoring good. He wants to do a good job, and he wants to not fall to the many pitfalls that are available to an emperor, and he wants to remind himself of these things repeatedly. And that you see throughout the thing, because it's a lot of the same stuff, right? I mean, you could put it under some headings, but it's really just the same kind of stuff over and over again, where he's reminding himself not to fear death, and he's reminding himself of a variety of things in a number of ways. And it seems like, yeah, man, you just said this like 3 pages ago. But if, you're growing and every couple of years you write something in your diary, it feels like that's what you're reading, is just, at the time, maybe he was fearing his death and his legacy, and so he had to put down a reminder for himself in his diary, and that's what he thought about that day. That's kind of what you're reading. And so if you come across entries that are like, remember the line from X, that's it. He doesn't even tell you what the line is. Well, that's because he's just reminding himself of something.
So this is his like daily discipline, or maybe not daily, but this is a discipline he's done in order to keep his ego, his emotions in check, to be sort of like, it's sort of his...
Just sort of remind himself to do good and to do a good job, and to not fall to the psychological and philosophical pitfalls that come with being an emperor, which is...
Get swept away from the tyranny of the immediate or whatever.
Yeah, which is great because we have seen some pretty bad emperors. Yeah. And so he has to keep himself in line and in check. There is one section at the beginning where he sort of says, a thanks to my predecessors and the people I have learned great things from. That reads different than the rest of the meditations. So
he thanks like his teachers, right?
Yeah, he thanks his teachers. He thanks his dad. He thanks his...
It's a great thing to thank your teachers there, kids out there, if you're listening.
He thanks the gods. He thanks his mom. He thanks everyone that has had a great influence on him, and even says what they did for him. And I think that's the section I might read at the end, or at least a section of it, just because I think it's really beneficial. It's a good outline for, hey, if you want to live a good, solid public life, here's kind of the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Much of this would actually be really beneficial for anyone looking to take public office, or really just live simply and honestly. Wasn't it C.S. Lewis? Didn't he say that if he wasn't a Christian, he'd be a Stoic?
Yeah, and Lewis, I think, at some point sort of says that Stoicism gets quite close to the Christian ethic, but misses key things.
Yeah,
it
gets a lot right. I mean, as you read this, you'll be like, wow, there really isn't much to argue with here, and I kind of agree. There are definitely lessons to take from this book. It's not like I can read this and go, ha, what an idiot. No, most of it's just really good, solid advice to both himself and to us. Okay, so can one of you guys summarize what is Stoicism? Can you give me like a quick elevator speech?
What you got, Graham? Yeah, I see you doing the nose goes, but this is an audio podcast, so I think I win by speaking.
It is, essentially, like, do you want the critical version, or you want the
purely descriptive?
The purely
just give the short elevator speech.
An attempt to, or a philosophy that is trying to radically remember that you should not be worried about the things that are beyond your control. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
That there's an acceptance of the goodness and the badness of the universe, or another way of phrasing it is things only. Anything that bothers you, you have let bother you. You are. It's almost like a radical willpower. You've let. If anything bothers you, you have allowed it to bother you, and you should just sort of accept the things that you can't control, and then control the things that you can control. Is that fair?
That's pretty dang close. Yeah. You are trying to live in tune with nature.
Yes.
And to let go of the things that can't really hurt you. And perception has a big thing. So I'll give a little bit more of a thorough thing, but that's pretty much the gist of it, right? Let go of the things you can't really control.
Does he talk at all about the types of things that we also associate with the classical world, like the 4 virtues? Wisdom, justice, prudence, temperance. I don't feel like he ever really gets into that kind of...
They pop up, but there's no systematic codification of these things.
Yeah.
And he doesn't bring up those 4 virtues very often. He talks about justice and he talks about courage as good things, but he's not like, here are the 4, this is the 4, right? Yeah. Again, they're just reminders to himself. Mm-hmm. Here's how you be a just man. Okay, so one thing we have to know before we jump into Stoicism is the logos. We've talked about the logos a lot on this podcast. Since Graham just went, Thomas.
It's not going to be me.
Can you tell me what the logos is?
Logos would be, it literally means word, right? Mm-hmm. It means word, speech, but it's like this underlying logic. It's this underlying kind of like meaning or understanding to how the world works. I guess it'll depend on the context we're saying, but.
Yeah. So to sort of give you a basic in logos, and I'm taking some of this from the introduction to my version of Marcus Aurelius, new translation with an introduction by Gregory Hayes, if you're looking for it. So, and it's the introduction is awesome, so I do recommend this one. But the logos means essentially rational connected thought, but it is a rational connected thought that pervades all things. So in man, it is the faculty of reason. In the cosmos, it is the rational principle that governs the organization of the universe, right? It sort of animates everything. The universe is rational. It definitely makes sense. That appears in man as reason. And it's also, I think, for the Stoic, almost like an animating fire. Like there is sort of a force that is the logos.
Like as modern people, we talk about the laws of nature.
Yeah.
And that's one way to talk about it. But the laws of nature we talk about, like gravity and like, gestation of new life. But the logos in the world of antiquity means that. But then there's also, it almost has like a metaphysical or supernatural element to it of like, there is a pervading logic of the natural way, the laws of nature, capital N. You should not be surprised if a wronged person feels like they have been wronged, right? Like, that sort of idea of that would be like the natural thing.
Yeah, and I think it involves, way back when they were sort of establishing this as a concept, I think it also involves math. You know, when they were learning math, they're like, we're discovering the mind of God and the rational principles at the base of everything. And so that got tied up into the logos too. Just think of it as like, it is that unifying principle that runs and animates the universe. Yep. And so when it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, I don't think they were talking about scriptures. They were talking about like, Jesus is the rational principle that animates the universe.
Well, that's what
right? That is God.
Right. That's what John is doing in the gospel. Yeah. He's saying that like, hey, classical world, that idea, that concept that you have of this logos that pervades all of the known universe isn't just a force or an energy. It's a person with a personality, and it is a knowable relational thing, and that's who came down and dwelt with us.
Yeah.
Stoicism don't believe that. That's not right. They do not say that Jesus is the logos.
No, they don't. The logos is its own thing. So the introduction breaks it up into three kind of basic attitudes, and it's a pretty good like basic viewpoint to view Stoicism. There are three things that you have to master: your perception, your action, and your will. Your perception, you must see things for exactly what they are and no more. You don't want to attach a whole bunch of extra things to something if it doesn't need to be there.
Don't lie to yourself.
Don't lie to yourself, and you can see something for what it is. Like your house may have burned down, but what have you as a person actually lost?
My house.
A house and nothing more, right? Okay. Your action, you're going to participate in the logos in nature, and so accommodate yourself to its demands and requirements, which seems like, according to Marcus Aurelius, is to be unselfish and to act as part of a unified whole. We'll get to that as sort of how he views things. So with Marcus, I was going to read something about the logos, but I don't know. Well, here, I'll read this. So all events are determined by the logos and follow in an unbreaking chain of cause and effect. Stoicism is thus from the outset a deterministic system that appears to leave no room for human free will or moral responsibility. In reality, the Stoics were reluctant to accept such an agreement and attempted to get around the difficulty by defining free will as a voluntary accommodation to what is in any case inevitable. According to this theory, man is like a dog tied to a moving wagon. If the dog refuses to run along with the wagon, he will be dragged by it. Yet the choice remains his, to run or be dragged. In the same way, humans are responsible for their choices and actions, even though these have been anticipated by the logos and form part of its plan. Even actions which appear to be, and indeed are, immoral or unjust, advance the overall design, which taken as a whole is harmonious and good. They too are governed by the logos. Okay, with Marcus...
I don't want to run or be dragged. That sounds terrible.
Well, the thing is I'm not even sure Marcus himself would kind of adhere to that. It seems like throughout the entire thing, he has this dichotomy between the divine spark that is in man, which is your humanity. Like your soul is not a material thing, right? It sort of directs the body, but it is not the body, and it's its own thing. And I think if you asked about human nature, he would say that it is the nature of your soul. The body is largely a distraction to that, right? It has wants, it has needs. You often get tied up in pleasures. These things are a detraction from what your real humanity is doing. And I think for Marcus, to align yourself with nature is to align yourself as much as possible with soul rather than body, right? There is that divine spark, and that divine spark is part of the logos just as much as your body is. But
I'm
I
getting
think
tied up in the pleasure of the aroma of this coffee.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty amazing.
you got to leave it behind, buddy.
I can't.
You're marring your human nature.
Can't I? Can't I just like give in to the bodily pleasure?
Just this once.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not sure he would have said like we have no choice, but we might as well. I think for Marcus, like if we are going to adhere to nature, then yeah, we have to try to yearn as much for our natural human nature as we can, which is spirit. But again, none of this is that specific. He's actually sort of against what he calls logic chopping, and he doesn't really dive into it that much. These are just reminders to him about how to govern well. And as far as I can tell,
Because he never sat down and like codified this into a like, all right, let's write out every precept of this philosophy.
no, not even close. In fact, he reiterated several things a bunch of times. And as far as I can tell, I've written down 6 things that I sort of see as themes. These are not exhaustive. This is not official. I haven't, gone back through and checked these. This is just like kind of the feeling I get as I went through.
Don't come at us, Stoic bros.
So, number 1, he's trying to remind himself not to fear death. It is natural and not threatening. And he says, and when we die, and it seems like Marcus always has a little seed of doubt about the gods and what happens after he dies. So he says, either we're going to go to the gods or we're going to dissolve into nothing. And if we're nothing, then we don't feel bad. And if we're going to the gods, then it's a good thing. So there's nothing to fear. And that like, hey, don't fear death, it's okay, takes many different forms.
That's like almost that Socratic
Right.
Yes.
in the apology.
It is. And one of them is the future and the past don't exist. All you have is this one fleeting moment. And when you die, that's really all you lose is the one fleeting moment that you're in. And that's not much, not a big deal. And he's like, he constantly reminds himself to think about the old dead emperors and their legacy and the people who mourned them. They're gone too. So why worry about my legacy and why fear death? Like, it's just constant. Number 2.
I kind of like the fleeting moment though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, people are the worst, but they hurt themselves and not you, so don't be mad. It seems like he is constantly having to remind himself that, yes, they are all turds, but I can suffer a turd here and there, and what I should do is teach them how they are going wrong without getting myself in a tiff. He's constantly having to remind himself.
That means he's getting annoyed by people.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
good.
It seems like life at court often vexed him.
Sure.
Number 3, orient oneself away from concern what other people think about you, and instead do your civic duty with unselfish action. So he's like, don't get concerned about legacy or fame or what everyone else thinks, or don't worry about all of that. You have a job to do, and it's to be unselfish and to work for the unity of the whole, because that's what nature is. That's logos. So don't get wrapped up in everybody else and in legacy and in fame and all that praise and nonsense. You don't want any of that. Even if they're talking bad about you, it's not your concern. So he's just reminding himself, stay separate from the will of the multitudes. Number 4, the universe is a flow of time, all of which has been the same. Like it's just the same dang cycle over and over again. Things change and then drop and die. All we have is the present. All we can lose is the present. So don't stress. It doesn't do anybody any good. And don't yearn for temporal things. So he's just constantly reminding himself, like, this is all temporary. We will all die. It's not a big deal. And it's the same thing over and over again. Nothing is new. So don't stress.
Do you think you just said, don't stress and has never done anybody any good? But don't you think a little bit of stress does you good?
Probably. It does me good sometimes.
And I mean, even under the definition, like a baby who wants to develop and grow. Like if a baby didn't stress out about life, a baby would never strive to speak or to walk. I don't know. I'm just thinking there's something about like desire, which this has always been a little stuck on my craw about Stoicism, is that it casts it looks at desire askance and doesn't and thinks that human desire is a bad thing. But I often wonder if we really could cut out desire the way that they talk about, would we not have sort of these knock-on effects that wouldn't be good? Don't we want a little stress to grow? Our bodies need stress in order to get stronger.
I don't think Marcus would agree with you in that Stoicism says no stress or no desire. Because he says, clearly there are things I'm here to do. I am here to be unselfish, to serve my fellow man, to decouple myself from pleasures, and to be good. And so if you don't desire to be good, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
There's a couple of quotes I will read today that are like, well, if you're having trouble like getting out of bed, here's what you do. So
Decouple from all pleasure?
we'll get there.
I love sauces.
But the pleasure you should get is from like
on food,
Being a good
doing
person.
good, from being a good
like
person.
queso.
Okay, But if those things are what motivate you, then you're doing something wrong. And so I think he's saying move from stress to unstressed, serene, right action. I know what I have to do. I know how to do it. There's nothing that should perturb me while I'm doing it. If it goes wrong, like it's probably something I can't control, or it's something I can and I can get better, right? There's no reason to stress about it, but there is reason to act. And I think that that's what he would say. Okay, number 5, find serenity and simplicity in according oneself with nature and with virtue. Number 6, only the soul can be good or bad, and all is in accordance with nature. So things can happen to you, but they're only good or bad if you feel that they are. Like anything outside of you is just calamity. It's just circumstance. It is how you react to it that makes it good or bad. Okay, so those are the 6. Don't fear death. People are the worst. Orient yourself away from what other people think. Universe is a flow of time, so don't freak out. Find serenity and simplicity, according yourself with nature, and only the soul can be good or bad. That's kind of what I see reiterated again and again and again. Okay, you guys ready for quiz show?
Let's do it.
So,
Yes.
because this is just sort of a collection of sayings and
I
phrases.
desire to win quiz show. It will give me pleasure.
So
Negative point off the bat, right? Come on.
it's yeah. So it's
Graham's
so it's a
gonna
collection
wreck
of
me in
phrases.
this, yeah.
So I figure that the best way to do it is to read some of them and have these guys try to fill it in. You're probably going to get it wrong,
Yeah,
so I'm just going to give the
almost for
point
sure.
to whoever I think got closest.
Okay.
Right? Because getting it right is kind of tough.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me flip to my.
Are you looking for a copy of
I'm looking for a ding, ding,
Meditations?
ding. I'm looking
Oh,
for some
the
sort
bell?
of buzzer.
Oh, here. Before we get there, I had a few things that I could read that are sort of like a good summary of the things that he tells himself again and
do it.
again, and involves that wake up in the morning one that I was talking about. So, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. And this is what follows right after he thanks everyone for making him who he was.
That's great.
They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but of the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness. Nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. Whatever this is that I am, it is flesh and a little spirit and an intelligence. Throw away your books. Stop letting yourself be distracted. That is not allowed. Instead, if you were dying right now, despise your flesh. A mess of blood, pieces of bone, a woven tangle of nerves, veins, and arteries. Consider what the spirit is. Air, and never the same air, but vomited out and gulped in again every instant. Finally, the intelligence. Think of it this way. You're an old man. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate in the present, and to mistrust the future. Number 3. What is divine is full of providence. Even chance is not divorced from nature. From the inweaving and enfolding of things governed by providence, everything proceeds from it. And then there is necessity in the needs of the whole world, of which you are a part. Whatever the nature of the whole does, and whatever serves to maintain it, is good for every part of nature. The world is maintained by change in the elements and in the things they compose. That should be good enough for you. Treat it as an axiom. Discard your thirst for books so that you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth, grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Okay, that's a good, base start,
Yeah.
I think. Okay. Let's see. I think I may have lost my first little quote. There we go. Okay, found it. Okay, so you'll have to fill in the blank.
Yeah.
If you seek tranquility, do blank.
Your duty.
Do what is right. Do what is good.
Both failures. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential. So wait, what'd you say? What is natural?
I said what is good.
I said your duty.
TV feels pretty close.
To essential? All right, I think point goes to Graham on
Yeah,
this one.
I'll give it to Graham.
What the logos of a social being requires, and in the requisite way, which brings a double satisfaction. To do less, better. Because most of what they say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? But we need to eliminate unnecessary assumptions as well, to eliminate the unnecessary actions that follow. Okay,
What about like going on a date?
Do less.
Are those necessary?
Dates?
Yeah.
No. Yes, of course.
Or like, I don't know, like telling your kids you love them. I guess that's necessary.
Yeah, and it's part of like unselfish action, and it's
Yeah.
help for the unity of the whole. He would say that absolutely do those
What
things.
would be like an unnecessary action?
Getting up and like,
Farting around on your phone?
yeah, probably. And it doesn't help anything. Doesn't help unify. It doesn't help. It's not unselfish. I think like he says pretty much we are put here for unselfish action. That's what humans are made for. So get rid of the rest of it. I did want to read an extra side one. So in between little quizzes, I'll have some others that I want to read. This one just says, there's nothing else than this. Number 28. Character. Dark, womanish, obstinate. Period. Wolf, sheep, child, fool, cheat, buffoon, salesman, tyrant.
That's it? That's
That's the whole entry. I don't know what that
Man,
means.
it's a bad day.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just
Did not
feeling
like-
rough. He may have had a little too much to drink that night. You never know.
Well,
Okay.
what's the never mind.
What are you saying?
I was going to say, what's the stoic answer to someone that's like, screw it. I'm going to do bad things because I like it. I want to be bad.
He'd say
I
you're
want-
denying your human nature.
what if I say like, but it got me all this cash.
He'd say you are confused about what is good, and you're hurting yourself.
I am sitting on a mountain of cocaine and
You're very
ladies.
confused about what is good.
I am.
got other problems, yeah.
I say hello to my little friend. Like, why?
He would say you're hurting yourself.
I'm not though.
You are with
like
that
it.
much cocaine. Yes, you are. I've seen that movie. It doesn't
Does
end
not
well.
work well.
I guess so. But what about the person? What about what does the Stoic say to the person that's like, you and I both end up in the same place. You can like deny yourself and do your unselfish action, and I'm gonna like party.
You will have lived a less happy life,
And that's just like, and you just have to.
and you
like-
will not be in accordance with nature, and you'll be hurting yourself the whole time.
And then what if someone just goes, okay, like
Then
you know that
he would
meme?
say, you know what?
Then they're sad.
Then let them go. Like they're confused.
Yeah.
Let him go do that, and that is not out of sync with most of the older
So you know
philosophers.
that meme of like the guy that's in the corner and everyone's dancing around
Yes.
him, they're having the party.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the guy in the corner saying like they're not acting in accordance with nature, and everyone's like, "Woo, this song's awesome."
But I think again, you're still like you're oversimplifying his position. Would Marcus Aurelius celebrate if there was cause for celebration? I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, would he party if there was reason to party? If it was like
I
a
don't know.
festival
I don't
day?
know if you would.
I don't know. It feels like it's unnecessary.
Yeah. I would think that might be a no.
I think you guys are being a little too hard on him here.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm not saying that negatively. It's just I think he'd want to be regulated.
would he buy tickets to like, you know, SCL? Like, would he just want to go? Be like, let's just go hard this weekend and go to.
SCL, Society for
no,
Classical
sorry.
Learning.
You mean
You're gonna go
I was going to say, why did anyone buy tickets for that? What?
I mean ACL.
You mean ACL,
ACL.
sir?
Yeah. You know the SCL. Let's go hard.
Crazy.
I think it would. I think part of it would depend because he was devout, and I think it would depend if it was like a festival to the gods. He would probably
think so?
engage. Yeah,
I don't know.
he
Let's read
believes in
some
the
more and
gods.
find out. But I think I might take the no on that one. But
Okay, number 2, second quiz. If you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself
no,
what.
this is the part where he says don't go back to sleep. Right? Like you take the furs off of you and you get out of bed. Like tell yourself to get out of bed.
If you don't want to get out of bed, tell yourself you're gonna die one day.
I think point goes to Thomas on this one. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the
sleep,
blankets
yeah.
and stay warm? And then he even argues with himself here. But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice. Instead of doing things and experiencing them, don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed. But nature set a limit on that, as it did eating and drinking, and you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. You're still below your quota. You don't love yourself enough. Or you'd love your nature too and what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it, or even forget to wash or eat. Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, or the dancer for the dance, or the miser for money, or the social climber for status? When they're really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than give up practicing their arts. Is helping others less valuable to you? Not worth your effort?
It's a good one. Got to
Okay.
get out of bed.
There's one right here that says, no one could ever accuse you of being quick-witted. All right, but there are plenty of other things you can't claim you haven't got in you. So he's just kind of encouraging himself
Yeah.
because I think people called him dumb sometimes.
Guy.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Quiz number.
It's 1-1, right? 1-1.
No, 2-1.
1-0. I got 2. What was the second one? No, it's 1-1.
Oh,
Sure.
by the way, Donaldson, you know that the obstacle is the way poster you have?
That's Ryan
That's him.
Holiday.
That's Ryan
Yeah, yeah.
Holiday. Yeah.
I think it's for Marcus Aurelius.
It is.
Definitely
It
from
is
Marcus
Aurelius.
Oh.
Yeah.
Obstacles
I'm,
away.
I'm
The
just having this realization. You already knew this?
Yes.
Do you have
I
the-
just had the realization.
Oh.
Is this in
The
your
obstacle is the way-
classroom?
Yeah, I've got it in my class. It's what is in the way becomes the way, something like that.
Which is,
Yeah.
it's in the meditations,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So here's the quote I think it comes from. But when they, in a sense, people are a proper occupation. Our job is to do them good and put up with them. Right?
Yes.
They're jerks.
Yep.
But when they obstruct our proper tasks, they become irrelevant to us, like sun, wind, and animals. Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our disposition, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, where'd quiz 3 go? I think some of my bookmarks have like slipped down. Ah, here we go. Okay. Got it. Don't be irritated at people's blank.
Gosh.
Natures.
Attitudes?
I think Graham gets this one. Don't be irritated at people's smell or bad breath. What's the point? With that mouth, with those armpits, they're going to produce that odor. Argument, but they have a brain. Can't they figure it out? Can't they recognize the problem? So you have a brain as well. Good for you. Then use your logic to awaken his. Show him. Make him realize it. If he'll listen, then you've solved the problem without anger.
You stink.
Like, buddy, you smell bad. Oh, I find that entertaining. That's pretty funny. Okay. The number 4. The best revenge is to...
Not care.
Succeed.
I think... Point Graham. The best revenge is to not be like that.
I'm on a run.
Not be like that.
To not be like them. All right. How you guys doing so far?
Great. 3-1. I mean,
3-1.
Graham's
I'm,
loading it up.
Okay. If you had a stepmother and a real mother, you would pay your respects to your...
Self.
Real mother.
I think I got to give Thomas this one.
Is it going to say stepmother?
You would pay your respects to your stepmother, yes.
Yeah.
But it's your real mother you'd come home to.
There it is. Okay.
The court and philosophy. Keep returning to it to rest in its embrace. It's all that makes the court and you endurable. So to him, the court is like the stepmom.
Yeah.
And so philosophy is like the real mother. So pay your respects to court, but keep on coming back to philosophy because it's the only thing that keeps you sane. Poor guy.
Yeah, that's tough.
Sounds like life at court was not
Not his favorite.
awesome.
I mean, people got assassinated all the time, right?
I thought he spent a bunch of time at war, right, during his life. That's, guess I don't know how often he was at court.
Yeah. Okay. This one's a triple. 3 points available. Not with one question, but there are 3 separate
3 parts.
questions.
Okay.
Okay.
So 3-2, right? 3-2.
3-2.
It is 3-2 in favor of Graham. All right. Ambition means what?
Suffering.
Here, maybe I'll give you a little more of it. Ambition means tying your blank to blank.
Fate to the wind.
Okay?
Your heart to nature.
I think Thomas.
Cool. For 2 points, or that's got to be
Just
1
one.
point. Okay.
Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, fate
Right?
to the wind is
Fair.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Tie it all
Self-indulgence.
up, Thomas.
That's
Tie
good
it
as
up.
3-3. Yeah.
Self-indulgence means tying it to...
So I'm sorry. The first one, ambition.
So
is
ambition
tying
means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. And self-indulgence means tying it to...
The beast within.
This was a great idea. I love these
no
answers.
idea. Tying it to my desires. Yeah.
Ooh, Thomas.
What?
Oh,
How's what is it?
Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happen to you.
What? Okay, fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Sanity means tying it to
The logos of the
Yeah.
universe,
Virtue.
nature.
Yeah.
Thomas again.
Let's go.
Sanity means tying it to your own actions.
Okay,
I think virtue makes more sense there than logos.
Thomas pulls it ahead 4-3.
Yes, he does.
Oh,
he is
woof.
ahead now. Oh no, 5-3.
I was gonna say more than that. Yeah, because there were multiple points.
You're 2 points back, my friend.
I don't care. I don't care.
You
I
accepted
don't
this.
care.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you don't want to be ambitious. Why are you tying
Yeah.
your self-worth to what other people
I don't
think
care
of
what you think about me.
That
I don't
doesn't
care
matter.
about winning the game that we're all investing this time to play.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
Do we still have like 8 more of these? I see a bunch of bookmarks in there.
Oh yeah, we're on number 7 of 15.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
So we got a few. I figured this was the easiest way to like read a bunch of the more
I've always
interesting
wondered
quotes.
how to like
cares?
do this book as an episode because you can't really summarize it. Like you group them into topics, but it is literally just like thought.
Yeah, and they're all disparate and all
Yes.
kind of disconnected,
Yes.
and there's no real thread through them all.
This
And
is the second time we've done the meditations as an episode.
Did you do the meditations?
No, AJ's done the meditations.
no, I
before.
haven't.
Not the meditations.
I've never read this before.
No, I think it was.
I've done-
Seneca
We did an episode on Stoicism.
I've done the Enchiridion
on
and I've done Seneca.
Stoicism, but
Yeah,
not
okay.
on Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, this is the first time
All right,
we've
let's keep
done
on
this for
trucking.
sure.
Yeah.
So I figured this was the easiest, and I tried to pick ones that were like funny and stood out rather
Yes.
than him saying like, "Time is a river,"
Yeah.
over and over again. I thought the one about bad smelling people
pretty
was
good.
especially
It was
funny.
pretty good.
So I picked out those ones that are a little bit unique as best I can.
Yeah.
So did you say it's 5-3?
Yeah.
5-3.
Not that I am.
Yeah, I was gonna. You just want to clarify? Yeah.
Okay. This one seems to be a definition of kingship, and I think he's quoting somebody because it's in quotes. I'm not sure.
Cool.
But kingship, is what? Kingship is what? It's a clever aphorism. So you have to come up. I'll give you a second. I'll sing a little song.
Kinship.
Oh.
Kingship is kinship?
Yeah.
a good
Oh, I
one.
like that.
Thank
That's
you.
so nice.
Yeah, I don't have anything witty. Kingship is something about the sword of Damocles. Like kingship is the threat over one's head, something like that.
Oh, I think I got to give Graham this one.
Yeah, let's go.
Kingship, to earn a bad reputation by good deeds.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
All right.
Isn't that fun?
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. I think this is. Oh, yeah, we can do 2 on this one. I'm going to throw in an extra one.
Okay.
4.
5-4.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this one in just. Yeah, I'll just read this one. It's hard to have
Okay.
a blank and have it make sense. It was just think of yourself as blank, and that was going to be too
gosh.
wide open. So
Yeah.
think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life.
That
Now
would've been
take,
my guess.
take what's left and live it possible. Really?
Yeah.
And live it properly. Dang, I stole a point from you then. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Keep doing that. Yeah.
Okay. This one I think is him just reminding himself the demeanor he should have.
Okay.
Not a dancer, but a.
Stick in the mud.
You do not like the Stoics. What is your deal?
Not a dancer, but a.
Stick in the mud?
Yeah.
You tried to party with Stoics before? Is that your
Yeah.
issue?
They're they're like,
What do you call
doing
it?
their duty.
Who are the but a priest, but like
A sycophant.
not a sycophant, but like whoever the person who like manages the temple.
A DJ.
A DJ, yeah.
The DJ manages the temple as.
that sounds right.
as
Not a
is true.
dancer, but a DJ.
Yeah.
What did I say? Stick in the mud. No, AJ,
Not a-
I don't want to put words in your mouth, Thomas. You were saying a priest.
Yeah, it's like a more religious role.
All right, we're going to crowdsource. What do you guys think? The answer is not a dancer, but a wrestler. Not close to priest,
No.
not close to stick in the mud.
Yeah,
No, I think let's just scrub and move
yeah,
on.
Okay.
zero, yeah,
It's
0
a
points.
wash. So, not a dancer, but a wrestler. Waiting, poised and dug in for sudden assaults.
I like that.
Do you? Really?
Yeah,
That's how you
I
want to
do.
live your life? Dug in, waiting for sudden assaults?
Yes. Stoicism is good, Graham. Like, I just need, by the end of this episode, I want you to accept that there are good things in
There
Stoicism.
are
think-
good things about Stoicism. I actually really like it.
It is great.
No. So in my defense, it's one of those things where it's like I'm being cranky because I respect it a lot.
Okay.
I really like Stoicism.
Then
but
criticize the people who are bad, not the-
like
not meditation.
The deficiencies, like it is way better than like living a life of sort of hedonistic pleasure for sure.
Yeah.
But it is missing. It feels like it is missing a little like joie de vivre. Like it feels like it is missing a little bit of like. I like Chesterton more than I like Marcus Aurelius.
Sure.
Because Chesterton's there's a little like, I don't know. Like, okay, when
it's too early for this?
Fine.
It's too early to get to this conversation.
Right.
Let's save it for the end of the episode. We can have it.
Or maybe
we
even
can
in between.
We can have this.
Probably
We can
in
have the
between.
conversation.
Yeah.
That's good. Keep
But
it
I want to get through the quiz
Right.
first.
I
And then
want
we
to
can
win
do
the
it.
game that doesn't mean anything to
Cool.
win, and I shouldn't
I don't even know
enjoy
what the
it.
score is right now.
What? Where did I ever say anything about not enjoying
No,
things?
not you. It's
Okay.
just, I should.
Stoics
Yes,
don't enjoy. Yeah, you should.
that's fair.
I should
That's
only
how I do
control the answers I give. I
Yes.
shouldn't care about whether
the
or not I
outcome,
win.
right?
it. Okay, there are 3 points available for this one.
Great.
It is not a 3-question thing, but there are 3 things that he lists.
Okay.
So you can each give your lists, and
Okay.
I will give the appropriate points.
Thank you.
Perfection of character is, he uses a little colon, perfection of character, colon, to live your last day every day without these 3 things. It's a list of 3 things. That's perfection of character.
Concern for the opinions of others without malice, without ill action, without vice.
I was gonna say, oh gosh, I don't know. Complaining. Like trumpeting your virtues, like self what's the word, like marketing yourself.
Aggrandizement.
Yeah. And perfection of character, not complaining, not pumping your own tires, and not worrying about outcomes.
It's gonna be like 3 for Graham, right?
I think
They're so similar, though.
they're so close. What were your 3 again?
Heck, if I don't remember. Do you just want to read the 3 and we'll figure it out?
So I gave you 1 point, Thomas, because you're like concerned what other people think about you. I think got close to 1. So the 3 things are frenzy, sloth, and pretense. So concerned what other
Pretense.
people think of you. I think that's a point, Thomas.
Yep. Sloth and frenzy.
Graham, you also had that, right? Not pumping your own tires.
No.
That would be pretense. That's an easy win for you, I think. You also said sloth, which is really close to what you said, which was complaining.
Yeah.
I said complaining. Yeah.
Yep, I'll give you another point
Yeah,
there.
2 points.
Frenzy, doing lots of things.
And then frenzy, what was your 3rd thing? It was like
Self-marketing, complaining, and caring about outcomes. So not frenzy.
caring about outcomes was kind of
Frenzy.
a lot. Like it's close
Yeah,
to frenzy. I feel
I
like
don't know.
that's worth a point.
Maybe.
I feel like that's close enough. So
Sweeping it, Graham.
Graham gets all 3 for that one to climb ahead by 1 point. He is 1
Still
point
neck and neck.
in the
Tom,
lead.
what's the score?
Still neck and neck.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 for Graham.
6 for Tom.
And then 6 for Thomas.
Rock and roll.
Okay. So far, so good, gents. Okay. You can hold your breath until you turn blue, but blank.
Don't.
You can't change the mind of others.
Thomas gets that one.
Come on.
You can hold your breath until you turn blue, but they'll still go on doing it.
That's right.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Easy one for Thomas.
Tied it up.
Okay. Number 11. He says we have 3 relationships. What are those relationships? Each person has 3 relationships. He just goes 3 relationships, colon. I want to see. That's another 3-pointer. So what are the 3 relationships that man has?
To act in accordance with nature.
Just 3 relationships?
Your 3 relationships.
Is it? I was thinking the target of those 3 relationships. That's interesting. Tell me. No, I want to hear yours.
I was going to say your relationships are to act in accordance with nature, to, I don't know, not complain about people who came before you. Am I like way off?
I'm giving no clues.
Fair enough.
What are you?
Because I would guess
give me
because
some.
my 3
Like your
relationships are
dad?
like with myself, with other men, with the gods, right?
Those are Thomas's. My relationships are the relationship to act in accordance with nature. What did I say? To not care about those who came before you, and to not lie to yourself. Those are my, yeah.
Okay.
So relationship with self, honesty to self, duty to nature, and not caring about other people.
Okay, so honesty to self, duty to nature, and not caring with other people
Yeah.
about other people.
And
Thomas very clearly gets all 3 points.
Cool. Rock and roll.
You'll have to help me whether you get them. So he says the 3 relationships. Number 1, with the body you inhabit.
Yeah.
So to not does not lie to yourself. Does that count for Graham?
I think Graham should get 0 points. Come on.
I think I should probably
Okay.
get 0 points.
With the divine, the cause in all things.
That's right.
The everything in all things.
Yeah.
And number 3, with the people around you.
Yeah, that's right.
So your body, the divine, and people. And Thomas listed
I think all 3.
self,
Yeah.
other men,
Yeah.
and the gods.
Yeah.
So he had all 3 of those pretty solidly.
As a tech bro, I was prepared for this episode.
I don't care.
He swept the last 3-pointer, so this is all good.
Okay, I like this one. You want praise from people who blank themselves every 15 minutes. The approval of people who despise themselves. Is it a sign of self-respect to regret nearly everything you do? So you want praise from people who blank themselves every 15 minutes. The approval of people who despise themselves. Is it a sign of self-respect to regret nearly everything you do?
Contradict.
Say doubt themselves.
Kick. Neither of you get the point?
Yeah.
People who kick themselves every
themselves?
15 minutes.
That's a very strange tick for someone to have. I want to know more about these people he's talking about.
Well, I mean, like, you say something and you're like,
yeah,
crap.
That's funny.
Said a dumb thing.
Yeah.
Okay. We are coming up on the end here.
Okay.
We're on number
Can we
13.
get a score check? Just in case for listeners.
Just
who
for
care?
yeah. People
10-7.
Okay.
In favor of Thomas.
rock and roll.
So
let's go.
luckily, Graham, I think you might. I think you got 3 points here. You can get it. And there's one that has a 2-parter that you can get.
okay.
So
Okay.
All right, I got to run the board though.
number 13.
Not that you care.
Not that I care.
Okay.
Today I escaped from blank. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me in my own perception, not outside.
Care.
Say laziness.
Point Graham.
Good. That's good.
The answer is anxiety.
Anxiety.
Today I escaped my anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perception, not outside. So one day he's just like, you know what?
I'm done.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop being anxious. It's not a real thing. Okay. 2 left. 8-10. Favor of Thomas.
He's gonna get this. I believe.
Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do blank anymore?
Can you read the first part?
Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do blank anymore?
Is it not just this? Like, because it starts with he's doing something and you stop. So I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that was also gonna be my answer. The present thing.
Word for word. Nice job, gentlemen.
Wow.
Point for each. The answer is this.
Okay, cool. Wow.
So stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do this anymore?
I have that when I'm grading papers. When I'm sort of longing for death.
Am I scared of death because I won't be able to grade papers anymore? Okay, this is just...
There's no way I can win now. I mean, if
tie
that was
it.
a thing that we were...
I think we'll tie it.
All right, there was right now it's 11-9 in favor of Thomas.
Yeah. This is the
There's
last
one more
one?
point,
There's
right?
one more, but it
With
has
2 points.
2 points
Oh.
available.
So
So
we tie it.
you could tie it,
Yeah.
or Thomas could win.
Yeah.
There are a few, but I'm going to keep the suspense high because there's a few I want to read in between.
Oh, okay.
This one I have titled "Death of a School Teacher," number 36. It doesn't matter how good a life you've led. There'll still be people standing around the bed who will welcome the sad event. I'll be glad you're dead. Even with the intelligent and good, won't there be someone thinking, finally, to be through with that old school teacher? Even though he never said anything, you could always feel him judging you. And I imagine this is how our students will stand around our bed.
Probably true.
And that's for a good man. How many traits do you have that would make a lot of people glad to be rid of you? Remember that when the time comes. You'll be less reluctant to leave if you can tell yourself, this is the sort of life I'm leaving. Even the people around me, the ones I spent so much time fighting for, praying over, caring about, even they want me gone in hopes that it will make their own lives easier. How could anyone stand a longer stay here? And yet, don't leave angry with them. Be true to who you are, caring, sympathetic, and kind. But not as if you were being torn away from life, but the way it is when someone dies peacefully, how the soul is released from the body. That's how you should leave them. It was nature that bound you to them, that tied the knot, and nature now unties you. I am released from those around me, not dragged against my will, but unresisting. There are things that nature demands, and this is one of them. So it's kind of a nice little thing, but I read the school teacher bit, and I was like, oh, that sounds like my death. Okay. This one's called Someone Despises Me.
Can I ask you, are the pages cut in a weird way? Or have you folded over?
I've been dog-earing like a thousand
bunch
of
of
these
them,
things.
yeah.
Well, I dog-eared anyone that seemed interesting, and then before the podcast, I ran back through and found the ones that
which
sort
ones?
of stood out from the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone despises me. That's their problem. Mine, not to do or say anything despicable. Someone hates me. Their problem. Mine, to be patient and cheerful with everyone, including them. Ready to show them their mistake, not spitefully or to show off my own self-control, but in an honest, upright way like Phocion, if he wasn't just pretending. That's what we should be like inside, and never let the gods catch us feeling anger or resentment. As long as you do what's proper to your nature and accept what the world's nature has in store. As long as you work for others as good, by any and all means, what is there that can harm you? It's kind of nice.
It's good.
Okay, this one I really like. The despicable phoniness of people who say, listen, I'm going to level with you here. What does that mean? It shouldn't even need to be said. It should be obvious, written block letters on your forehead. It should be audible in your voice, visible in your eyes, like a lover who looks in your face and takes in the whole story at a glance. A straightforward, honest person should be like someone who stinks. When you're in the same room with them, you know it. But false straightforwardness is like a knife in the back. False friendship is false friendship is the worst. Avoid it at all costs. If you're honest and straightforward and mean well, it'll show in your eyes. It should be unmistakable. So I just really liked listen, I'm going to level with you here. What does that mean? I love that bit. Okay. And then I had one more. Okay, here's an entry I don't fully understand.
Is this the quiz show one? Or is this
Not quiz show one. Yeah, one more before quiz show.
Okay.
The town mouse and the country mouse. Distress and agitation of the town mouse.
It's the Aesop fable, right?
I think is it?
Yeah, the one about there's the mouse that lives in the big city and the mouse that lives in the country. The town mouse goes out to the country, and the pleasures are simple, but it's still an enjoyable time. There's no stress or anxiety thing. It's a pleasant trip, but it's not fancy. Mm-hmm. Country mouse goes to the town, and it's like they eat really well, but they could die at any minute because if they get caught, they're going to get killed by the house that they're in. And so I think the lesson is supposed to, it's like, there are different types of wealth, and it's better to be the country mouse than the town mouse.
Yeah, and the town mouse has distress and agitation.
Yeah.
So
which the country mouse does not.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
It's one of the Aesop fables.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm glad I brought it up.
Yeah.
Okay, last quiz show one with a possible tiebreaker if Graham gets both of these wins.
I think we would tie it at that point, right?
You would, which is why I would bring a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Stupidity is expecting blank in winter or blank in old age. Those are two different words. Stupidity is expecting blank in winter or blank in old age.
Fruit in winter and love making in old age.
Yeah, I was gonna say crops in winter and vigor in old age.
I was gonna be a little more graphic with mine, but
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I think both go to Graham.
Awesome. Let's go.
That's great. That's great.
Stupidity is expecting figs in winter,
Okay,
which
yeah.
sounds
Good.
a lot
I
like
said
fruit,
fruit.
or children in
Yeah,
old age.
that's it.
Which
There it
sounds
is.
like
There
the
it
right
is.
thing.
We're tied.
Well, you guys are tied up.
11,
How am I
11.
going to break this?
That's so good.
What in the world?
Pick a random page and let's figure it out.
I love it.
Okay. Oh, man. All right. Maybe this one. If either of you can actually get who this quote is from, because he's quoting someone else. He writes down a
Graham's
quote.
gonna get this. Yeah.
No thefts of free will reported by blank. He has recorded that as like a little quote he needs to remember, and then he's put the author right next to it. So number 36, or book 11, 36, no thefts of free will reported. Basically, no one can steal your free will.
I have.
Ageless. I don't know.
I was trying to think of what playwright it would have been. Who's the guy I did last time who did Disclose? Is that Menander? Who is it?
The answer is Epictetus.
Oh, there you go.
I always think Epictetus is after Marcus Aurelius.
Okay, let's see if I can find another one that we can throw in here. There's a lot that's repetitive here.
We could just tie. That's
We
like a
could
very
just tie.
stoic thing to have happen.
Fine with that. We're all winners, you know?
No, we're all losers.
Oh, okay. We're all losers for having cared about the game.
No, I mean, I'm trying to like put to words my like allergic reaction to it.
Okay. Yeah, we can call that quiz show done.
All right, we tied it up. That's good.
We
We can carry the quiz show into other areas of our life.
Sure.
What is We're going to compete in other...
yeah.
Inequality?
What is
Like,
that?
we
There's a
just-
quiz show within or something.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I will say that the very first section, book 1, where he thanks everyone that's given him things, if you're looking to like bring up a kid on how to act well, it's
Yes.
a pretty good codification of, hey, this is just good behavior. So I'll read just the first few. So from my grandfather Varus, character and self-control. From my father, integrity and manliness. From my mother, her reverence for the divine, her generosity, her inability not only to do wrong, but even to conceive of doing it, and the simple way she lived, not in the least like the rich. My great-granddad, to avoid the public schools, to hire good private teachers, and to accept the resulting costs as money well spent. To my first teacher, not to support this side or that in chariot racing, this fighter or that in the games, to put up with discomfort and not make demands, to do my own work, mind my own business, and have no time for slanderers. From Diognetus, not to waste time on nonsense, not to be taken in by conjurers and hoodoo artists and their talk about incantations and exorcism and all the rest of it, not to be obsessed with quail fighting or other crazes like that, to hear unwelcome truths.
Quail fighting?
Sounds awesome.
I
curious.
could see us getting obsessed with quail fighting.
Oh, can you imagine having like your quail? To practice philosophy and to study with Bacchius and then with Tandius and Marcianus, to write dialogues as a student, to choose the Greek lifestyle, the camp bed, and the cloak. From Rusticus, the recognition that I needed to train my character and discipline, not to be sidetracked by my interest in rhetoric, not to write treatises on abstract questions, to deliver moralizing little sermons or compose imaginary descriptions of the simple life or the man who lives only for others, to steer clear of oratory, poetry, and belles letters. So it's just like kind of what made him himself, which I appreciate. It's a good little sort of here's the makeup of a good man, and here's how I was put together. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it a good read? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It is
Totally
very,
worth it.
yes. Despite my like tongue-in-cheek nature, the Marcus Aurelius's book is very good. The and all of those like the virtues of Stoicism are good, like not letting other people control you in terms of your emotions. Yeah, that phrase of like you can hold your breath until you're blue in the face, but people will still
keep
act
on doing
anyway.
it.
They'll keep on doing it. Caring about duty and responsibility and the steadiness of mind and whatever he called his the virtues he talked about is what his grandfather were. I can't remember what you said, but as you read it, I was like, yes, these are good things. The maybe the thing that I often wonder about Stoics is can you get to the place where you have so disregarded how other people can affect you that it actually limits your ability to like really enter into the
Human Congress.
the real radical like or the real love that is required in family life. So for example, like this is coming from the Roman Empire. This is coming from a Roman family structure that looks quite different than what we modern people look at as families. The relationship between husband and wife and even fathers and children are not the kinds of relationships that we would recognize as sort of like the modern Western nuclear family. So I often wonder if the Stoics if one of their sort of blind spots is like almost treating everybody like enjoy the good if you can get it, but in reality, like you're kind of on your own, kid. And deal with and sort of accept that and deal with it. And I think there's a lot of really goodness, a lot of good to that. But I often get the sense that the true Stoic is often like has a hard time or doesn't believe that like authentic Aristotelian friendship can exist, or that like the real joining of two people in self-sacrificing love can ever exist, or even should be something that you work towards because you're only just going to be disappointed in the end. Like.
I'm with you. I have to stop. We're over
Yeah, that's
time,
fine.
but There is even a spot where he remembers somebody else saying that when you kiss your son goodnight, you should say, he may die tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right? Which is probably not a healthy way to say goodnight to your kid. What if he hears that? That's not great. You're reminding yourself to not get too attached. That seems busted. So how should you read this? I think it's great stuff to contemplate, and you shouldn't just read it straight through like I did, or read 3 a day and sort of contemplate those things, see where they fit in your life. It's a great little sort of morning tradition because a lot of it is just urging you towards good works, kindness, openness, not getting angry, taking things as they come. A lot of it is really, really good. And I do think, I'm with Graham in that I think there are pitfalls to Stoicism, but a lot of it's pretty solid. And so if you want to read this as sort of a daily reminder to be good and not get frustrated with people and to take things as they come, I think that's great. Anyway, I liked it. It was a fun read. There's a few of those I would probably commit to memory. The smelly one is probably my favorite. But yeah, there you go. That's Marcus Aurelius.
Awesome. Well, this has been Classical Stuff You Should Know with Graham, Thomas, and AJ, and we are not going to let anything you email us disrupt our zen. No, not our zen. Our chill. Our stoic.
Serenity.
Our
Serenity
duty,
now.
Our
Donaldson.
duty to
Serenity now.
to logos and nature. But you can email us at theguys@classicalstuff.net. You can patronize us on Patreon, wherein we have monthly AMAs and a chat that we chat in.
Yeah, we chat back and forth. It's kind of fun.
After this summer, AJ and I will have posted a bunch of stuff from a trip that we're taking together to England.
Yep.
And
gonna record daily episodes.
And we sort of have big plans for the more content in the Patreon. And you can find us on Twitter, where I will sometimes like things you tweet.
Real active, clearly.
Sometimes.
And besides that, but thank you for listening, and we will catch you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Cheers
Ciao.
and bye.